Good morning, good afternoon, colleagues. I'm Edward Kanju, IITA cassava breeder in East Africa. I'm going to give you an update on resistant varieties pipeline development and deployment in Africa. This was prepared in collaboration with the Kayondo Ismail. This is the outline I try to follow. It's quite a lot. I have to rush through. As an introduction, I just wanted to talk about these three clones, MM2006, 123, 128, and 130. These were the best three clones selected by IITA Uganda Breeding Program after evaluation of 10 years. And so from 2005, when they were planted as seedlings from seed introduced from Tanzania. And this one clone, 130, was released by Naro and was given the name Naro Cas2. From the other batch of seed that was sent to Nakri, Robert Kawichi selected the TZ130 and it was given the name Naro Cas1. So the two released varieties in 2015, I think, were the first wave of CBSD tolerant varieties for the mid altitude areas. These three clones, I'll talk about them because they were used in the breeding program of IITA as parents by crossing among themselves and selfing, and also they were crossed with the TMU14. And this is the explanation, and to cut it short is that we got a lot of seed from the crosses and we shared the seed with the IIT Tanzania breeding program. In Chambezi, Rudolf Shirima was doing when he was doing his PhD, he was evaluating cassava varieties for degeneration at Chambezi during the short range season and the long range season. His findings were published in this publication in Plant Disease 2019. It was titled Assessing the Degeneration of Cassava Under High Virus Inoculum Condition in Coastal Tanzania. It was picked as the editor's pick, and the message in that pick was that to avoid cassava disease, Tanzanian farmers can plant certain varieties in certain seasons. So in short, Chambezi, the short rain season has the highest disease pressure. And it is advised that farmers should avoid the short rain season, but breeders should use the short breeding season, the short rain season to evaluate cassava varieties. So our breeding program started to follow this advice, and the seed from Uganda were planted during the short rain season. And the 6 clones were selected from the seed, and these were listed here. Out of these 6, 5 didn't show any symptoms by visually and by diagnostic using qPCR. The 5 were sent to Stefan Winter for stringent screening for CBSD, and it was only 504 that was found to have some promising resistance. So this was very exciting, and we sent these clones to Becker, and Morag Ferguson at Becker helped to clean the virus index and put them in vitro. So these clones, the 5, were introduced to various countries, including the Comoros, DRC, the IITA breeding sub-program in Southern Africa, and we introduced to Kenya and Uganda. So from selection from those clones that were selected for advancement, this is some of the clones, the performance from the UIT2 that was harvested this year. And what we are excited about is that one clone, they highlighted 116, 1487, which was an S1 from 123, is performing in yield as good as Zinarocus 1, our best commercial check, but it doesn't show any symptoms of CBSD in neither mosaic. So we have sent it to DSMZ in April for stringent selection, hoping that it might be the next clone apart from 504 that is quite very high levels of field resistance to CBSVs. The clones that were generated from mating of the 3 clones and the TME14 were not, we didn't throw those clones, so we maintained them from 2016 up to 2019. And our PhD student, Caroline Sichalwe, is using them in her studies. She's using 1,273 genotypes. And from the evaluations she has done, she identified 19 clones that have no symptoms of mosaic or brown streak, even using RT-PCR. And one of them is the one that we have selected in the UIT, which is 1487. So these ones, Caroline, I think will challenge them by grafting in our study. So these 504, 316, and 521 have been extensively evaluated in Tanzania for 2 seasons. They are under on-farm conditions, and they are doing very well. And now a report is being prepared to get them evaluated under national performance trials. And if they continue to perform well and they are selected by farmers, they will be officially released in 2024. 521 is also doing very well in DRC, according to Stefan Winter. On the right is the 521, a farmer excited by it in the lake zone of Tanzania. I'll talk a bit about excellence in breeding interaction with us and to modernize our breeding program. They made a report. As I told you, we used the only three breeding lines that were promising and one TME14. So only we had 4 genotypes in our crossing block in the past. And they tried to do simulations, and they reported that even though the parents appears to sustain genetic gain, for medium to long-term objective, it is advisable to find a sweet spot for parents that allow sustained genetic gains and enough diversity to adapt to changing situations. And the report suggests that we use 16 to 32 parents. And from that advice in 2020-21, we had 18 parents in our crossing block. These are the parents and their pedigrees. We also had a separate crossing block for the yellow fresh cassava, and we had 12 parents. So this is the result from the clonal evaluation trial after using the many parents. And this is the clonal evaluation harvested at Sendusu in 2021. The selection that were the top 20 selections from those evaluations are shown here with their pedigree. And it's exciting to see that compared to Narocus 1, we have quite good performing clones in terms of total fresh root yield and also resistance to cassava brown streak. We have clones that don't have no necrosis so far. The dry matter also is quite impressive. We are looking forward to see how they perform during the PYT harvesting. Now I'll talk a bit about Col 40 and another one, EQ41, that were introduced from DSMZ. These are Col Forte is reputed to be immune to cassava brown streak. It is quite susceptible to CMD, as we have also been told by Stefan Winter that they are susceptible. And as you can see on the photograph, on the foreground is Col Forte in the field in the Chambezi, in Sendusu. As you can see, the vigor is poor, full of cassava mosaic, compared it to our elite clones in the background. So these varieties are not suitable as varieties in the field, but we use them to mine the resistance genes and the other attributes, like they are sweet and mealy with a very good dry matter. So for the first time, we evaluated them in the field, and this is the first harvest in the field at Serere. As you can see, they were planted together with the promising clones from Tanzania, 504, 521. As you can see, Col Forte, the good news is no necrosis, while Eco 41 has shown a necrosis already. And this, we are not surprised because Stefan Winter said Eco 41 susceptible to CBSD. So we are looking forward to recycle this planting material to see how they will perform in the future. We use the Col Forte extensively in crossing, and this is the number of seedlings in the field in Sendusu. We have 725 derived from various elite parents we have here. And this is the number of seeds that we have collected this year, derived from Col Forte, 1,236. We are going to share this with DSMZ and the other NAS breeding program and the programs of IITA. The season to DSMZ were in 2 batches. Last year we sent 300 on the left, and this year we have sent 603 with those families. Col Forte times TMA 14, this is for the mapping population. And we have sent Col Forte times KBH 504. This is resistant, like bi-resistant. And the 1487, I think, will also be resistant to resistance if DSMZ finds out that 1487 is resistant. According to Chauffeur, these seeds will be used to generate mapping population, and that both linkage mapping and genome-wide association mapping will be used to identify resistant genes and whole haplotype, uncover the resistant mechanism, and develop diagnostic markers from marker-assisted selection. Promising genotypes that are bio-resistant will be delivered to African breeding programs. These are the trials currently in Sendusu. Due to time, I will not go through them all, but we have all the stages in breeding from seedling to UIT. And these are the trials at Chambezi, both during the short and long rain season. So we look forward to clean virus index and conserve in vitro the promising clones we have identified for regional distribution. We don't know where these will be claimed, maybe at Kefis. And we want to genotype all the Col Forte derived seedlings and clones with the QC and the trait markers. We want also to continue screening Col Forte and all the promising clones and high disease pressure in the field for 2 more seasons to prove their resistance to CBSD. We want to generate semi-inbred lines up to S3 from highly promising clones for intercrossing. We want to utilize heterosis. Also, we would like to liaise with the biologists to acquire the LAMP2 for routine phenotyping. I think this has been validated in Tanzania under James Lake team, and I think we can use it routinely now to phenotype CBSD. We want also to identify parents with the highest breeding value for all key traits. The take-care ways, I think we have evidence that the phenotypic recurrent selection is effective for improving resistance to CBSD. We are really making progress in developing real virus-resistant clones, and we have not detected any significant opposing phenotypic correlations between economically important traits. So we think we can develop a variety that combine all economically important traits. As I said, Chambezi I think we have earmarked it as a go-to center for stringent screening in the field for CBSD resistance. I think there are 2 points I have already mentioned them. We have great challenges. The first one is that our program is really understaffed, and the key staff are aged like myself, and we really need to have a succession plan. And we thank Dr. Derela that he has nominated Kayondo to be now the breeder for the region as I prepare for my retirement. We have been operating with very meager operational funds, and we have no committed virologists to help us, and no irrigation facility at Chambezi. This is the staff we have on the left here, the two with the identical t-shirts are the technician in Uganda, flanked by molecular virologist Rudolph from Tanzania. The center, the two ladies who are in Tanzania. And I thank Morag on the right for her real efforts to make our Crohn's clean virus index, put in vitro for regional exchange. I would like to thank all IIT staff, all NAS, NARO, especially in the TARI, DSMZ team, and a special thank to Peter Kuleko Chidozi and Richard. On the right is a photo with Chidozi in 2019 when he visited us. I would like to end by thank you all for listening.